Hey guys, in today's video, I want to share a cool software that I found that was just released a few days ago called Windsurf. And it is an AI coding assistant that is much better than any that I've seen before, and I've tried pretty much all of them. The second best is probably Cursor. Okay, so this is the company that makes it. It's called Codium, and they used to make VS Code extensions with AI in it, but they actually went the route that Cursor went, and they forked VS Code, which gives them the ability to have more fine-tuned control over the features they can add. So let's go explore Windsurf. They use the word flows instead of agents and copilots. I think that it is a useful term because it does flow quite well, but I think it's just a multi-step process under the hood. They just want to make it sound fancy, but it's pretty cool. Like in this example, you ask it to do something, it looks for the files, analyzes it, asks you for approving or rejecting the changes, and then it'll edit the files. It can also run terminal commands, which is very useful, and it looks very similar to Cursor, as you could tell if you're familiar with Cursor. Basically, just ask questions on the right, it changes files on the left. This is a cool one that I haven't really used, but maybe it'll be useful in the future, where you can start writing code and tell it to continue what you were just working on, and it can understand the context of what you were just working on. So it must have some sort of internal Git history that it's always keeping running without showing to you, because it also allows you to revert back to previous prompts as well, which is a very good feature, because if you make a bunch of prompts going back and forth, you can get out of hand where it makes a bunch of changes, causes some errors, makes more changes, and it's a cycle where it just blows up into multiple files and you just want to be like, start over and try again. With this, it's very easy to, because you press the revert button on any prompt and it will revert back to that prompt and revert all the code that happened since that prompt. There's also multi-file editing, which means it like creates the files, which I've found to be very convenient. I know that Cursor has Composer, but the way that this creates files is just much more seamless, and it seems like automatic. You just have to approve the files at the end to keep them, but it actually makes all the changes first and then you approve them. And that's about it. If we go to the pricing tab, it's going to be $10 per month. Currently, on the paid plan, you get that Cascade, which is what they're calling their Composer, basically. And right here, it says that you get 1,000 steps per month with the paid plan, and I'm not sure what that is. I think they need to be more clear in their marketing on what a step qualifies as, because is it a single prompt, or is it a prompt that triggers all those steps, and those steps are what you're getting 1,000 of? Because that would be very low. Even if it was prompts, it'd still be pretty low. So now let's try to use it in my app. All right, so here's this web app that I'm working on. It is a workspace for content creators, which is why it's called Creator HQ. And you're able to add videos and keep track of tasks and projects. I just want to go through and find something that we can add to this app using Windsurf, because I actually want to do something real with it instead of just doing a simple like create a project from scratch example, because it could do those really well. And that's what everybody tests them on. So I want to actually just add something real and show you guys the process for it. What can we do? So right here, I have this canvas. This is a good example. I have this canvas here that keeps track of tasks, and I would love to be able to click or double click and add a new task. And I have no idea where in the code this is. This is just a page that I randomly went to. I haven't worked on this feature in a long time. And the way that you currently add tasks is clunky, and it's not public yet, but you add a task and it goes on the board and you get another task. And you can make this task depend on that task. And that's nice, but I would love to be able to click and add a task. Right now it zooms in, which I don't really need. So let's see if we could add that feature using Windsurf. So I'm going to put this on the side, move that over. And all that we want to do is make a new chat. You can give it specific folders and files, but I actually don't know where these files are located in my repo, and I don't want to try to look for them. So let's see if it can find them properly. So I will give it the actual URL that I found that's helpful. So I have this project page for all my projects in my app, and on it there is a task workflow tab. Currently, to add a new task, you have to press the add new task button. Oops, I did not finish that. Let me keep editing it down here at the bottom. Currently, to add a new task, you have to press the add new task button. I would like to be able to instead double click on the canvas and have it add the task where I click. Currently, the behavior for double click is to zoom a little, but I would rather replace that with adding a task. And this is exactly how I would use this. So now it's searching my code base and it's trying to find the files that are related to this issue, which I find is usually pretty reliable. And now it's going to be generating. So it found something. Visual Workflow Editor. And you click on this to see what file it found. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be what we want, because in the project page, there's the Visual Workflow Editor. Yeah, so I can see that you're using React Flow for the canvas, which I am. So it found everything where it needs to be. Search my entire repo. This is a pretty big project as well. Now it's modifying the actual file. It added this double click function. Odds of it having an error are quite high. And one thing that's cool about Windsurf is that as it makes the changes in here, it does make you approve them, but it actually makes them first. So as it's writing, it updates the actual UI. So you can test the features before you approve them. But if you say you don't approve them, it just reverts the code changes. With Cursor, you would have to approve it first, then it would update the code. And then you'd refresh your browser and it would be there. But with this, it's actually changing the code beforehand, which you may not think is a good idea, but it's so much more convenient to see what it implemented and test it and then be like, actually, this isn't working. And then you know to reject it. So let's see. We'll go to our workflow page and it didn't work. So let's just copy and paste this. I think that we're one step away from having the perfect AI for like web development. And all it would have to do is be able to use the Claude interactive version to test out the features that it's creating. And you'd have an infinite feedback loop where it could just create apps and test them. It needs to be within a React Flow context. And there's no on double click. I should have said that as well. We're gonna have to fix that after because I didn't tell it at the same time. So it made more changes. Let's see. Okay. So double click is doing nothing, but it's not zooming, which is good. So I'm gonna say, okay. So we are preventing the default double click zoom behavior, which is good, but the tasks aren't being added when I double click. And I think it is because of this. Let me just copy that, paste that in. So there is no on double click. Maybe it's using the wrong one. It should be on double click. So let's see if that fixes it. And I think that might have been like 4 prompts to get this feature added, but let's see. So now there you go. It's working. And that's crazy because I would have had to find these files, figure out how I implemented React Flow, go to their documentation, find out how to prevent the default behavior, add the double clicked feature, and figure out how to find the mouse's position in the canvas to have it be able to add tasks, and it just did it. So that's Windsurf. I highly recommend you guys try it out for yourself and see if it works for you. Like I said, it's gonna be probably $10 per month, but there is a free trial, so try it with that free trial and see if you like it. This is not a paid sponsorship or anything. I just found it and I felt like it was at the next level, where I've tried a ton of different AI apps and I haven't made videos about them because they just weren't that much better. They might have been like small incremental improvements, but maybe worse in other things. This is the first time where it felt like this is another huge leap in AI capabilities. So I wanted to share it with you guys so you knew about it as soon as you can. All right, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.